And his team from Wilbur Hospitals, respected heads of department, officers, and the staff members of all IA and AD offices in Chennai who are gathered today for the awareness program on this day of Indian organ. Dr. Shankar Narayanan and his team from Wilbur Hospitals, respected heads of department, group officers, and the staff members of all IA and AD offices in Chennai who are gathered today for the awareness program on this day of Indian Organ Donation Day 2023. A warm good afternoon to one and all. I request you all to stand up for Tamil Thai வாழ்த்து by Sri Ramesh Kumar.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலவடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் மதரமன திகழ்வரத கண்டமிழில் தெக்கணமும் அதிர்ச்சிதந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறைமுதலும் தரித்தனதும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அலைக்குலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறமையொன்று செயலருந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
I now invite DAG Admin Office of the Principal Accountant General Audit 1 to deliver the welcome address.
Very good afternoon to everyone. It gives me joy, happiness, and pleasure to give the welcome address on such a special day. So today, as all of you know, we are celebrating the National Organ Donor Day, and just a few things. I think this is the year that the date was changed, right? Yeah. So till last year, I think it was. I was just googling a bit. So till last year it was November 27th, and from this year it has been designated as August 3, especially for since because after the first heart transplant was done in the same day in 1992. So I think that was a momentous occasion, and it was very good that we are celebrating this day. And I would like to first welcome our chief guest and introduce him to the audience also. So Dr. Shankar Narayanan, he is a MS in general surgery, and he is a super specialist surgeon in the field of surgical gastroenterology. He has done pioneering work in the field of pancreatitis and GI cancers, and he has also worked in this Assam Study Center, which is in Korea, Seoul. And he has also experience working in Bangalore, Delhi, and Chikma, Pondicherry. Currently, doctor is a part of the liver transplantation unit. I am very happy and glad to welcome doctor on such a good day. Welcome. And I would like to also welcome the HODs of our offices. First of all, I would like to welcome Shekhar sir, Principal AG AND, Nidjanjan sir, he is the audit one, and Anand sir, he is the audit two, group officers, and also last but not least, the staff and officers. Welcome to this gathering. Thank you.
I request Principal Accountant General Audit 1 to kindly address the gathering.
Organ donation மிக குறைந்த அளவுல வந்து வெளியில தெரிஞ்சிருக்கக்கூடிய விஷயம். நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கக்கூடிய விஷயம் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, அங்க இந்த மாதிரி தப்பு நடக்குது, இங்க இந்த மாதிரி தப்பு நடக்குது, இதுதான் வந்து நிறைய தெரியும். பட் ஆர்கன் டொனேஷன் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ஏன் தேவை அப்படின்றத வந்து இன்னைக்கு நம்மகிட்ட ஒரு விலைக்கு சொல்றதுக்கு வந்து டாக்டர் சங்கநாராயணன் இருக்காங்க, அவருடைய டீமும் இருக்காங்க. ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு எஸ்டிமேட் அவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, 5 லட்சம் பேர் வந்து வருடத்திற்கு இந்தியாவில் மட்டும் 5 லட்சம் பேர் வந்து இறந்து போறாங்க. அவருடைய உறுப்புகள் தேவையை வந்து பூர்த்தி செய்ய முடியாத காரணத்தால் மட்டும் 5 லட்சம் பேர். வருடத்திற்கு கிட்னி தேவையான மக்கள் மட்டும் எத்தனை பேர் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா 1.5 லட்சம் பேர் இருக்காங்க தேவைப்படக்கூடிய பேர். ஆனா கிடைக்கக்கூடியது 5000க்கும் கீழே. வீணா போற உடம்பு தானே, இறந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் வீணா போற உடம்பு தானே. அதுல இருந்து எதை எடுத்துட்டு கூட என்ன அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்டா, இங்கதான் இடையில வந்து ரிலிஜன் நம்ம எல்லாரும் ரிலிஜனும் சேர்ந்து வரணும். செத்து நீ எப்படி போறியோ அப்படித்தான் நீ அடுத்த பிறவியில பிறப்பு. யார் கூட வந்து பார்த்து சொன்னாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது தெரியாது. அப்படியே பிறந்துட்டாதான் என்ன, இப்ப எல்லாரும் வந்து ஆர்கன் டொனேஷனுக்கு வந்து ஒத்துக்கிட்டோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். செத்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து நான் கூடனாவும் முடனாவும் பிறந்தேன்னா இருக்கிறவன் வந்து அப்ப போகணும் எடுத்துக்கலாம்ல. ஸோ அந்த டிவிஷன் கெட்டு போவோம் இல்லைங்களா. ஸோ இது ஒரு சின்ன கருத்து, அவ்வளவுதான். எந்த மாத்தியம் வந்து நான் குற்றம் சொல்லல. நமக்கு வேணுங்கிறது வந்து எந்தெந்த மாதத்தினையோ அல்லது எந்தெந்த ஆட்களுக்கு நான் வந்து ஏற்றப்படுமோ ஏற்றி வந்து நம்ம வந்து சேஃபா தூரமா இருந்ததுக்கு வந்து ஒரு வழிகாட்டு கொடுத்துருக்கோம். அதான் இன்னைக்கு இந்த ஆர்கன் டொனேஷன், உறுப்புகள் தானம் பண்றதை பத்தி, உடல் உறுப்புகள் தானம் பண்றதை பத்தி விரிவாகவும் அதில் இருக்கக்கூடிய குறைநிலைகளை பத்தியும் வந்து நம்மகிட்ட வந்து டாக்டர் சொல்லுவாங்க. உங்களுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய சந்தேகங்களை கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. நாங்களும் உங்களோட தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்.
I request Principal Accountant General A&D Chennai to felicitate Dr. Shankar Narayan. I request Principal Accountant General Audit 2 to felicitate Ms. Lakshanya, Senior Transplant Manager. And I also request him to felicitate Sri Venkatesh Kumar, Coordinator. I request Dr. Shankar Narayanan to give his presentation.
Good afternoon, one and all gathered here, respected office members, and all of my seniors, and it gives me a great pleasure and such a wonderful opportunity to stand in amidst such well-read people. Thank you, AGS office, for giving us this opportunity. So today we just give you a brief introduction or awareness talk about what is organ donation, because this is something which every one of us, in fact, even if you ask a small kid, they would also talk about letting their whatever used products to someone who is in need of. someone who's underprivileged. It sort of connects to us in a different level and gives us a small joy inside that we are able to uplift someone in our day-to-day behavior. So we from Brigade Hospital bring you greetings and once again thank you for the opportunity. Moving into our session. So, like I said, the act of donating something, it could be anything for that matter. And we in the medical industry have been doing so much research over the last centuries. And it all started with a simple blood donation. And today, over the last 15 years, the art of transplantation has grown great leaps and bounds, and the technology and also the medications for success of any transplant has changed or revolutionized the success stories. So, organ donation is an act of donating a biological tissue or an organ from one human body to another, and it's been authorized by the PHOA Act in 1994. So, what are the common organs or list of organs that can be donated? To begin with, blood products, we all know that. Kidney, which has been the maximum done nowadays in India and also all over the world. And also corneal transplant, heart, lung, liver, pancreas. I'm sure not many would be aware about this. A lot of childhood diabetes is because of absence of insulin secreting cells in the pancreas. And type 2 diabetes is something which we all know, whereas type 1 is little rare, and for which the pancreatic transplant is the only hope for these individuals. And skin is the largest organ in our body, and if you see a lot of children or adults who have undergone fire accidents, this skin transplants are such a game changer for them. It gives a new confidence and the ability to cope up with it. And finally, intestinal transplants are the most crucial ones. They have a lot of rejection rates, but now over the last decade, the number of centers which perform intestinal transplant, there are hardly a couple of them in India, but still the success is slowly picking up in today's world. So moving on to what are the types of transplants. As you all know, person who is living can also donate, and person who is deceased, which is dead, he can also donate. So donation is something, a common factor, but how we are going to donate differs between both. Of course, the most prime thing or the critical aspect in a living donor is to cause no harm to the donor. So suppose if I would like to donate a part of my organ, suppose say kidney is a paired organ. So one can comfortably donate one kidney and he can lead a near normal life with the other kidney. Whereas some organs like liver is a single organ, and to take a part of the liver without compromising the normal functionality of the donor is the most utmost what we as doctors take care about. So in a living donor, the focus or the only thing that we have to take care as medical experts is to make sure that the donor's health is not grossly affected. Second, the disease donor is something which is picking up in India, and we all should be really proud. Even last week, Tamil Nadu was awarded as the highest transplant success stories with respect to cadaveric liver transplant. In fact, all over India, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are the leading states to perform more number of deceased donor liver transplants. So a big salute to all the donor families who have cooperated for this. So like I said, living donor, it can be blood, bone marrow, one kidney can be comfortably donated, a portion of pancreas, not the entire pancreas, a portion of pancreas can be donated. Like I said, the part of the liver. Liver has right lobe, left lobe. Any one of the lobe can be donated, and also one lobe of the lung can be donated. So, on opposed to the disease donor liver transplantation. So now we need to understand what is disease donor liver transplantation. It is not necessarily that a person has died and he's going to donate. Now there are two things involved. We call it as brain dead and cardiac death. So first, it is only possible if the person himself has given a consent or has registered for the organ donation earlier, or someone whose family member, a near kin is willing to donate the organ for a possible recipient. And the two types of cardiac and brain dead is a brain dead patient is someone who is still alive, his cardiac and lung is functioning well, but his brain stem is damaged. Now, how to assess this? There are newer techniques. A neurologist has to certify, and also the medical superintendent of that hospital has to notify. And there are certain tests we run to declare a patient brain dead. The second is the cardiac death, where the heart stops all of a sudden. Patient was having some critical illness, but despite best efforts, the heart suddenly stops. And if the patient is a well-preserved patient, young adult or someone, where rapid explantation of organs can be done with the consent of the family, then that is what we call a CDC, donation after cardiac death. The common causes of brain death, as we all know, most commonly we would have encountered people having hemorrhage in the brain. So, intracranial hemorrhage are the highest seen in routine practice. Of course, trauma. A lot of road traffic accidents nowadays are slightly difficult to salvage, and they are the most potential donors at this point of time. The other rare causes, meningitis, drowning, hanging, ischemic brain damage, these are not very commonly sought to, and even if the candidate is an eligible candidate for donation, most often time is the critical rate limiting step in this. If it goes beyond a particular time limit, even though the organs can be retrieved, it may not be usable. So next we come to the question, what are the organs despite the time also can be used? For example, cornea, it doesn't have any blood supply. So even after 6 to 8 hours or 10 hours, if it's harvested, it can be used for another individual. Whereas critical organs like heart, lung, liver, kidney could not be done. Next, how do we match who should get which organ? How there should be an allocation system. Now, this is what Sir had mentioned during. A lot of negativity is spreading whenever the term transplant comes into, be spoken in social media or other things. Now, let's negate or omit the negative aspects. We will only focus towards how we can understand this better so that whoever is around us can be benefited out of this. A simple thing, ABO compatibility should be done. That is, what is the blood group? The donor and the recipient should be matched with the same blood group. So this is all very commonly known, OA, B and AB blood group. So the donation can go to corresponding blood group only. It is with modern development that in US, even the blood group non-compatible has been done with plasma exchange and making sure that the rejection rates are less. But in India, as far as my knowledge is, there have not been cases which have been done. And again, with respect to the age group, the cornea up to 100 years can be harvested because, like I said, it's avascular. Even after so many hours of death, also the patient can donate it. Heart valves up to 40 years. A simple logic is heart is an organ which takes the maximum wear and tear. So the valves are something to be transplanted. It's like a gatekeeper to the donor as well. So up to 40 years. Trachea, which is the windpipe, up to 60 years. Skin in a well-preserved individual can go up to 85 years. Kidneys up to 75 years. Liver up to 70 years. Heart again up to 50, similar to the heart valves. Lung up to 50 and pancreas up to 45. So most often, what we need to know is anyone beyond 18 is only permitted to donate their organ. Nobody is entertained less than 18 years. And what is the criteria? Like I said, patients should be neurologically irrevivable. They have undergone a permanent cessation of brain function. So they are branded as brain dead and it should be certified by a neurologist. And currently we also screen for illnesses such as chronic infections like hepatitis B, C, HIV, and also we also screen for cancers. So even though HIV and hepatitis infections are a contraindication, now because of the demand for organs, now we have a donor who is also hepatitis positive and the recipient is also hepatitis positive. In such, we inform both the donor and the recipient and we proceed with the transplantation. So this is something which has changed in the last 5 years. Now we retrieve an organ. How long can we keep the organ? And suppose you get an organ alert somewhere outstation in Vellore or in suburb Salem. So the logistics itself is quite difficult to harvest the organ there, transport it safely to a center where it can be implanted. So every organ has got a particular preservation time. And now with the advancement with machine perfusion, the time can be extended. But in general, lungs can go up to 6 hours, heart up to 6 hours. Intestine, it's quoted up to 13, but on a practical note, maximum 5 to 6 hours. Pancreas up to 24 hours because the perfusion can be simulated artificially. Liver also can survive up to 24 hours with the machine perfusion. Kidney is the best survivable organ up to 36 hours because kidneys can always, even a patient with end stage kidney disease can survive very well with dialysis machines. And the paperwork consent is the most important aspect. We have informed consent where if it's a living donor, we inform them prior about all the pros and cons, and patient himself or their family, along with consulting their family, will get the consent. Now, presumed consent is something which is not anticipated, where a patient meets with a road traffic accident, and we presume that he's if nothing is going to be done, nobody is able to give a consent. In which case, special scenarios, we have to inform the authorities and take a presumed consent. So this is what Sir was also mentioning. Over 3.17 lakh patients are waiting in the list for kidney transplant. This is come in the recent newspapers. And in India alone, about 25 to 30,000 liver transplants are needed annually, and we are not even able to meet one tenth of it. And 5,000 patients are suffering from heart failure, and only about 10 to 15 heart transplants are performed every year. So this is, although we are making progress in this field, but it's not up to our expectation or what our population demands. So organ wastage is something which brings us to the heavy heart. That why do we not understand the value of making another person live? The simplest thing is what we do matters, but what we do beyond our life matters the most. There is a saying which is close to me. I read this book. I don't know how many of you have. There's a Japanese saying, Ikigai. So it's a book on purpose of life. So we all should understand more about organ donation so that we are able to make purpose to another human being after our life. So one donor can actually save up to 8 lives. It's not 8 organs are going to be transplanted to one person. He can give it to multiple recipients. He can save up to 8 lives and change their lives forever. So this is, if you go to the Transplant website, this is a simple site for how to enroll for organ donation. And you get an OTP, and once you sign in with that, you also get a small ID or something, which you can also inform your family members that you have done this, and in case of any unforeseen circumstances, we are giving our consent towards helping another individual. So, with regards to the milestones that we have achieved in India, the first transplant was performed in 1967 at Kane Hospital. That was a kidney transplant. By the way, all this is success stories. I have not mentioned that. All this was successful transplants. In 1994 was the first heart transplant at PH New Delhi. In 1995, a multi-organ transplant was performed in Apollo Hospital, Chennai. 1998, lung transplant in Madras Medical Mission, Chennai. In 1999, the first pancreatic transplant in Ahmedabad, and 2015 is something not we have spoken till date. Is the first hand transplant that was performed in Kochi Amrita hospitals. So thank you so much for all your patience, and once again, it's such an honor and a great privilege to stand amidst such a well-read population. Thank you all once again. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take.
So can a diabetic donate his organs? Which organs can be donated? Which cannot be?
So, a diabetic individual, except for pancreas, he can donate almost all the organs which are listed. But it differs from case to case. For example, a young diabetes or below 50 who's not. Normally, the problem with diabetic patients are they are having end organ damage. That is, over a period of time, the blood vessels will get calcified, and that is how they lead on to kidney failure or heart failure or formation of plaques. What we call blockage of the arteries is because of the diabetes itself. So, if a diabetic patient comes forward to donate, it is not just like that you are a diabetic, you cannot donate. It's not like that. We have to run through multiple various tests. Look at the quality of the organ. Suppose if he wants to donate a part of the liver, we will perform a basic series of tests like CT scan, FibroScan, liver function test. What is the functional status of that particular organ, and then recommend whether suitable or not. So, diabetic itself is not a contraindication for donation. Yes, sir, it holds good for the same. Sir. We have to see at that particular scenario what is the quality of the organ.
How does a person approach for organ donation? Like they want to receive an organ, so how do they go about it?
I don't get it.
No, suppose a person requires kidney, he goes and admits in a hospital, and the hospital will they provide, or is there any procedure or something like that?
Yeah, I think she'll be the right person to address this.
Thank you so much, Shukla. So usually when the patient requires an organ transplant, say example is a kidney transplant, the person requires a kidney. Say I'm the patient, so I need a kidney. So I don't meet the consultant will clearly say that I need a transplant. So there are two types of transplant as Dr. Shankar discussed with us. One is live transplantation, other one is a cadaver organ. So initially, based on the waiting list and the patient condition, will always encourage the family members to donate the organ. So my close relatives. So whoever is matchable in the same venue will encourage them to donate. For that, do lots of blood investigations, scans, and everything. Once the donor is suitable, then we'll perform surgery. So in other case, when there is no compatible donor in the family, we'll list them to a cadaver organ. So that is what we discuss. There is a constant registry. So we have to register patient based on the government list and numbers. The government will allocate organs. Yeah, everything is through government. It's transferred.
And at present, only life-related transplants are legal, and no one does a non-related donors.
So I have heard that the cross blood grouping transplants also are taking place. Can you explain on this?
Yes. Recently it was performed at some center. So basically when you don't match the blood group, the chance of rejection is more. Your own blood cells will destroy the immunity of your own body, and it will lead to rejection of that organ. So first thing what we need to do is we have to put the patients who are going to receive the organ in a machine which is called the plasmapheresis. Remove all the products which is there in the blood which will cause rejection. We call it leukodepletion. The white blood cells are the one which goes in first to attack, and it's a defense mechanism. So we deplete the patient from those WBCs, and once the patient, the non-compatible organ is placed, these patients may require higher dose of immunosuppression. So this is broadly speaking, there is a lot of finer details to this, which honestly even I am not in depth aware about it. But certain centers have started doing it, and the results are not as equal to a compatible blood group, but it is having a good result, which is able to meet the organ need at the moment. You want to add something?
That will be the last option which we give to the family members, because usually the compatible donor is the first priority. When we don't have a compatible donor, we'll give them to the government listing. So when the family is keen on doing the transplant and the patient is also sick, we'll get an informed consent from the family members, counseling that the risks are involved, what are the risks are involved, rejection rate and everything. Then getting all the informed consent will go to the ABO compatible. As sir mentioned, the rejection rates are really high for non-blood groups.
Many people in the audience want to know if there is any other way other than online to register for organ donation.
Hospitals, even next week, we are going to actually explain on it.
So actually, we are planning to organize one organ donation day even at Birla Hospital. There, most of the people will not go and register online. They'll give a postal cards where it will have all your details, name, age, contact numbers, everything. The emergency contact numbers will provide that probably next week. I'll come and meet you all once again. So I'll give you the forms to fill the organ donation. You can take a pledge. Does it mean I'm going to donate from the pledge today? Organ donate பண்ணிதான் ஆகணும்ன்ற compulsion கிடையாது. It's your wish. நீங்க உங்களோட wishes வந்து உங்க ஃபேமிலிக்கு வந்து convey பண்றீங்க. If anything happens in future, the family will know that என்னோட பொண்ணு இதை விருப்பப்பட்டாங்க. She wants to donate the organ. என்னோட husband விருப்பப்பட்டாங்க. So after his death, most of the people will they'll see the world அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. So soon I come and meet you all again to provide all the documents which is necessary for the organ donation pledge.
Sir, you said that time is an important factor after the organ is harvested. So, if suppose if some organs are harvested, how is the recipient identified considering the time factor?
Here you talk about the logistics. Basically, every hospital has got a wait list. Suppose if you take Bedok hospitals, Madam maintains at least 2 or 3 or 4 patients in every blood group. So there is so much scarcity of organs that every hospital has been loaded with a wait list. And if you go into the government website, the wait list goes up to 500, 600. So identifying a recipient is never a problem. It's the donor who is the most precious, and acting at the right time, forming a team, because it's not just if we are in need of a liver donor, it's not that just a liver team can go and harvest and come back. No, it's an art which is first thing we have to respect the hemodynamics of the donor. Every part, like we have to communicate with the cardiac team, because if the cardiac team takes it first, then all the other organs will start damaging. So the liver and cardiac usually be in sync with each other. Suppose we don't take the heart team comes from another hospital, so we'll have to wait sometimes for hours together for them to reach. It will be synchronized in such a way that heart and liver are harvested together. First will be the liver, then will be the heart, next will be the kidneys, next will be the blood vessels, next will be the cornea, and then skin, and so on. So that is what I meant by timing. So which organ gets the first priority? That is what. And second, it's such a precious organ. You cannot travel all the way back and say that, oh, it's not good. You're going to waste it. So that is when organ preservation comes into play. You will have to use the latest gadgets or the latest solutions which are available. And it's also another way because the timing will be synced in such a way that before the organ leaves the hospital, the recipient will be moved into the OT and the process will start. So it's a lot of ifs and buts may come across, but with a good team planning, most often we don't face any problems.
So, it's actually a good question. So, once we identify the donor, say example, the Bilbao hospital has a blinded donor, or an accident case is on there is a donor in the hospital, the immediate action will be to inform the consent recipients. So, we'll be having a list of patients. Say example, A group we will be having 10 patients, B group will have 10 patients, and O group, AB group. In each blood group will have all the patients. So, first, the priority goes by the sequence of the patients. So, first, the 3 patients will inform. So once we identify the donor, then all the recipients, say example, the recipient, எல்லாருமே வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. They will be from Gujarat, from multiple states. So we call them. So there is an organ available. You are standing on the first priority. We would like to take the organ. For us, you come immediately. Travel. We have a team of coordinators. One who takes care of the medical, one takes care of the cadaver coordination, other one takes care of the logistics. So the logistic partner will inform them. If possible, will help them to find the flight immediately. So meanwhile, we have to keep the donor well maintained and stable. So we call the recipient. So the first recipient is not ready, he is unable to reach by the time, we call the second recipient. We'll inform simultaneously, we'll inform first 3 recipients to book the flight. So nobody is offered to lose the organ. So organ is priceless and precious. So we'll inform all the 3 recipients in each blood group. So by the time they reach, we'll plan everything and we'll move them to the
And one more point I would like to bring it to you all. If you have any relative who is in need of an organ, now a lot of times my friends call her, family members call her, my so-and-so family friend has been looking around for kidney transplant. So where to go? So the first thing to advise them is to go onto the government website and enroll. Because every day you go, you will be joining late into the queue. And it's a very transparent process. There is no way to break the chain. Because every individual is precious. So without any further delay, first thing is to meet the nephrologist or a particular physician who certifies that you are a candidate for transplant, and then that particular team will help you on the government enrollment. So once the rota, you're into the rota, only then your process of waiting period starts. But most often we see a lot of patients who keep going all around the place, all around the cities, country, and then finally end up when they are completely decompensated. Decompensated when they are in complete failure of the organ, by which 1-2 years may pass by. So just because you are enrolled onto the government rota, it doesn't mean that when you return therapy, you have to get a transplant done. No. When we have an organ other, when she calls, person A can say that, sorry, I do not want a transplant now, you can give it to the next person. It's always easier to deny that you don't want transplant at that particular given, but again to join back into the queue is a difficult process.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார்.
Good evening.
இந்த ரங்கநாதன் சார். சீனியர். 2017 நான் பார்த்தேன். உடல் தானம் பண்ணேன். உடல் தானம் பண்ணணும் அப்பா.
Okay.
சண்டே ஈவினிங் பண்ணணும்.
Okay.
மறுநாள் வந்து உடல் தானத்துக்கு ராமச்சந்திரன் ஹேண்ட் ஓவர்.
Okay.
அது ஒரு ஊர்வலமா எங்க ஸ்ட்ரீட்ல 4 ஸ்ட்ரீட்ல ஊர்வலம் மாதிரி பண்ணி ஒரு விழிப்புணர்வா பண்ணோம். 2017 பாட்டி இறந்து போனாங்க. அப்பயே கண்காண பண்ணோம். 2017 அப்பா விழிப்புணர்வு
Definitely, sir. A real big salute to you and your family.
மினிஸ்டர் எல்லாரும் சைடா பண்ணுறேன். எங்க ஊர்ல ஒரு 3 இயர்ஸ் எல்லாரும் ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸ் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாரும் வந்தாங்க. அது ரொம்ப கிராண்டா பண்ணோம் சார். ஏன் நான் சொல்லக்கூடாதுன்னு நினைச்சேன். கொஞ்சம் இதுவா இருந்தது. விழிப்புணர்வா இருக்கணும். ஏடி சொன்னாங்க சார் இதெல்லாம் இருக்கக்கூடாது. அதனால 2002 வந்து நிறைய பேப்பர்லாம் வந்து சார். பெருமையா சொல்லிக்கிறேன். இந்த விழிப்புணர்வா இருக்கணும். மத்திய அரசு ஊழியர்ல
இது டெஃபினட்டா பெருமையா சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயம்.
அப்படியே ஏஜ்லாம் அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணாங்க சார். எல்லாம் ஏஜ் அப்போ 2017 ஏஜ்ல கூப்பிட்டு இது பண்ணாங்க. நீங்களும் சொல்லவே இல்லையா? டைம் இல்லை. நிறைய டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸ் நிறைய ரெண்டு கொடுக்கூடாதுன்னு ஒரு அப்படி இருந்தாங்க. நான் கதவை மூடிட்டு நாங்கள் பிரதர்ஸ் பேசிட்டு வீட்டில் மாப்பிள்ளை யார் உள்ள வரக்கூடாது நாங்கள் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இப்போ ராமச்சந்திரா போயிட்டு எனக்கு மதர்லாம் வரவேற்க பிரதர்ஸ் ஃபேமிலி எல்லாம் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் போகும். எனக்கு காஃபிலாம் கொடுத்துருக்கா வச்சு எனக்கு ஒரு சர்டிஃபிகேட் கொடுத்தாங்க. எங்கள் 2 பிரதர்ஸுக்கு சர்டிஃபிகேட் கொடுத்தாங்க. எனக்கு
Big salute to your family. Sir, in this moment, I want to address one more information. So, நம்ம இது வந்து ஆர்கன் டொனேஷன் பற்றி பேசணும். There is something called whole body donation. அது it's more like you are giving your body for research and development. Number I was also a student of Ramachandran. So அங்க வந்து cadaver anatomy labல இருக்கிறப்ப first thing they say is to pray and thank the person who has donated himself for us to help us learn through his means. So that also is a very noble act. So please consider for that. Because if time lapse, the time போயிடுச்சு or someone very dear to us who has been wanting to help the society, definitely instead of our task, the ritual, எல்லாமே இருக்கணும். But I think we should go towards helping our society as well. So that's also very noble. So நீங்க சொன்னப்போ அதுதான் சார் எனக்கு it's a wonderful thing that you have done. Thanks for bringing us.
cholesterol
So, dyslipidemia, diabetes, hypertension, other metabolic disorders, எல்லாமே it is going to be there in the body, sir. எதுவுமே it is not an absolute contraindication for transplant to donate from.
sugar patient donate பண்ணலாம்.
Sorry?
Diabetic patient
பண்ணலாம், sir. If it is well under control, in fact, a patient donation பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி there will be about a team of 8 to 10 doctors who will certify them, every specialty, neurology, cardiology, psychiatrist, diabetologist. Everybody will work as a team and see his safety first before giving approval for this donation.
okay, thank you.
Sorry if I may address this also. Sir, the person who sang the Tamil Nadu, amazing voice. Suddenly, Kannuri Patrata, I felt Sirivadi sir. I'm not just for praising, sir. You have such a divine voice. Thank you very much, sir.
ஸ்ரீ வெங்கடேஸ்வரா இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஆஃப் மெடிக்கல் சயின்ஸ்
Yes.
இது வந்து அவர் ரன் பண்ணிட்டார். அவர் முன்னாடியே ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிட்டார். அவருக்கும் சரி அவர் அத்தைக்கும் சரி. ஸோ அவருக்கு தான் சென்னையில் போயிட்டு லாஸ்ட் இயர் அடுத்த எல்லாம் நம்மளும் சேம் மெடிக்கல் அவங்களே உயிரோட இருக்கும்போது தான் கைடு வச்சுக்காங்க
It's wonderful to hear this. Wonderful. Thank you. I will recommend this to my family members. I will go. Other panel, we have enrolled for organ donation, but being a medical student, I think I have to continue. Definitely.
awareness course.
Continue.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shankar Narayanan and his team. I request Sri V. Sadashivan, Sri Senior Audit Officer, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected Dr. Shankar Narayanan, Madam Lavanya, Venkatesh Kumar, Coordinator, our Principal Accountant General, Deputy Accountant General, our Welfare Officer, Madam. Thank you, all of you, for coming here. And I thank the doctor to give a detailed description of organ donation, what are the organs to be donated, the age group under which it can be donated, then time period within which the organ has to be harvested. All this, the doctor has given a brief description on this. And of course, organ donation, it is a noble act that could give a ray of hope to another person's life who is suffering through many years because of failure of a particular organs or multiple organs. So I thank the doctor to give an awareness of all this, and all of you to have a patient coming here to listen to this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
I request you to stand up for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब सुभाशिष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हे।